Well, hey everybody, this is Steve at Thousand Year Home. So today I'm looking at the logging that I'm doing. I'm doing two different kinds. I'm using the logs natural and I'm stripping the bark off, and then I'll notch them and I'll use them conventionally, natively as they are, minus the bark. I don't want the bugs inside the bark. And then another method that I'm looking at is turning the logs into either 4x4s or planks. This particular video will be looking at some experiments I did on cutting planks or 4x4s out of the various logs. The particular log we're doing today, I think I got an 8x8 out of it, but there's some insect damage at the end, and I might end up cutting that off and using it as a 4x4. Reasonably successful on the entire experiment. Now, the one thing that I did notice here that I'm missing right off the reel is I didn't run it, I didn't sharpen it. So later on, you'll see that I actually smoke a little bit going through one of the logs, and I didn't notice while I was cutting it for some reason, but at the end of the one cut, I go ahead and sharpen it up. So this is me getting ready to go out and to do this little experiment with the. I'm going to try to cut a 4x4 out of some of the timber that I felled here. And you'll see that I don't have very big timbers on this particular property. It's probably only 30 years old. Hey everybody, this is Steve at Thousand Year Home. So talking about logging. So I see lumber prices supposedly are coming down, but they're not coming down for the stuff that I want, which is cedar. You'll see I got a log on the floor. So I've decided, cut my own and log my own, and I've been fairly successful at it. I've got 30 acres of logs around me. I've been cutting the males out. The problem is you lose time for and dimensions, right? I can't mill to dimensional. So I bought a little gizmo here to you see there, and I can clamp in the thing. But I have decided that I can mill myself using freehand, and I'm going to attempt it on this particular log and see how close I come to accurate. I go and I buy 6 or 7 4x4s in cedar and a couple of 6x6s, and let's say 4 of the 2x10 2x6s, and I can't mill the 6 inches, so I have to buy those. At least I don't think I can. I would have to cut down a lot more trees than I want to. But each 6x6 is $225, right? And each 4x4 is $100. So I've already milled, gosh, like I said, $20,000 worth of lumber out of here. But I've been using rough logs, and today I've decided to give this little gizmo and taking a look at it, I've decided my sawmill is too low to the ground, and I'm not doing big thick logs, so I'm actually just going to try it with old fashioned. I'm going to mark it, and I'm going to hand cut these with a chainsaw, and we'll see how that works. So I have to still put a line on it, right? And so what I did is I used the 4x4 to frame out what I thought was heartwood on both ends. And then I just used that 2x6 there, that was a deck board, to line up the two lines that I started with, because I'm going to try to cut a 4x4 out of the heartwood. And this is my experiment. So the red Alaskan mill that I have there, I'm not going to end up using. I just physically made a line off screen. I'm already drawing, and you'll see in a moment that I'll come on screen, and I'm just using a Sharpie. If it wasn't so bright in Texas, I would use a laser. Is what I would use, right? I would use a laser to do this, and I would just make a better stand for the log, and then I would shoot a laser down it, and then I'd follow the laser. I think that this experiment wasn't too bad. The 4x4 that I ended up making out of here wasn't entirely unusable, and I think I'll use it as the bathroom vanity log when all was said and done. So I put a line on here, and once I have one flush face, I feel like I could get this done. This is a chain I've been using for a while, and I'll see how long it takes me to square this up. This is with the electric chainsaw. Alright, that's what I get for being lazy. Yesterday's battery. Well, as you can see, I've got a little problem here with this one. Man, that is too bad. Flip it over and see if that's old. All right, so let's say with the cut, let's say 7 minutes per side, so 21 minutes per log, and the logs aren't. Doesn't look too bad, especially down in there, but right here I have some insect damage. So some of my ideas on that insect damage is to spray it with borax and stick it on top of these connexes where it'll get well over 150 degrees. I could even tarp them and cook the shit out of whatever's inside of that log, and I think I'll have a winner. But I don't know, you know, it looks good. So with a brand new chain and batteries, I think I'll be able to mill that up. Once I have one flat side, you know, I could run it through a really good bandsaw or a really good circular saw. We'll see. So what I decided to do, since there was a little insect damage on that, was just see if I could saw a 4x4 out of this particular log. This is the same log, and I'm still eyeballing it. I'm used that 6x6 and put it across the top, and then drew another straight line on the surface that I had already chainsaw milled. You know, overall, this is not working out too badly, although I don't find the log very straight. My idea of making cutting one side with a chainsaw and then putting it on a bandsaw, that's exactly ultimately what I've gone with. But this particular day, I was just interested in seeing how close I could get to a 4x4. And I'm not terribly far away. This is, you know, the second or third side. I'm just seeing how long it'll take. In addition, as I mentioned earlier, now I did file this chainsaw blade,
Where are
but
you holding on?
it's pretty dull.
You're not holding on anywhere.
And I know that I'm breathing pretty hard through a lot of these videos, but do remember it's well over 100 degrees. And this was a tough bit of business right here, handling a log.
Not the prettiest in the world, but 3 out of 4 sides sawed. There's some stuff like that I'll take a look at critically. But I think that will be fine in a Spanish mission.
So I ultimately did saw the last end of it as well.
All right, it's the heat, y'all. It's the heat. So it takes 2 batteries to get through sawing an 8-foot plank, and I sharpened in between. And it's just because the batteries can't hold up to this kind of heat. The old man can hardly hold up to this kind of heat too. Sweating. Whew. But real sawmill is probably what I need. But these logs are mighty small for a real sawmill. I could hardly justify it. I'm going to be lucky to cut 4x4s out of here. So, but that works. Eyeballing it. not for precision, but if I had a planer and a joiner, I could fix those up and make them straight, cut them just a little bit bigger than they need to be. All right, Steve for 1,000-Year Homes. There, you got it. Eyeballed sawmill. No doohickeys involved. Just I draw a line from point A to point B down the heartwood, plane it up, or saw it, chainsaw it, sharpen the chainsaw in between, charge the batteries, do it again. If I had a gasoline-powered chainsaw, I bet you it'd be overheating too. It's well over 100 degrees, probably 105, and just really hot to work in. They don't have to be perfect for my purpose. In fact, a little more rugged is all the better. And any place where things don't line up, I'll just get a and I'll just, or spoke shave, and I'll just spoke shave that right out. All right, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. This is Steve.